Tonight, Unreported World investigates an ancient sport that's making a big comeback. Senegalese wrestling is packing out stadiums across the nation, creating superstars overnight and attracting major sponsors from around the world, all keen to tap into this homegrown African sport. Seyi Rhodes is in the Senegalese capital, Dakar.
I'm in Gladiators, which is one of the poorest suburbs of Dakar, Senegal, and tonight is fight night.
Every Sunday, fighters from all over the capital descend on the Adrien Senghor wrestling stadium. It's a knockout tournament. The winner will take home £1,000. That's the equivalent to what the average person earns in a year in Senegal. I'm here to meet 24-year-old wrestler Sadio Sissoko, who's waiting to fight. Senegalese wrestling is a centuries-old sport, fought in the sand and steeped in mystical beliefs. Fighters use elaborate rituals similar to voodoo to invoke the power of the spirit world.
Starting to get this sense of a very ancient tradition. The drums, the trinkets, the potions, the singing. It really is quite impressive to watch.
The aim is to get your opponent on their back or on all fours. For some, defeat is hard to take.
Wasn't expecting to see this. I can't tell if he's just angry, frustrated, or if he's actually crying.
Sadio, in orange, is now up against one of the crowd favourites. His fight doesn't last long.
When's your next chance to come back?
4 rounds later, the wrestler who beat Sadio is in the final. He wins, taking home the life-changing cash prize.
Sadio.
Oui.
Ça va?
Ça va bien, ça va.
I catch up with Sadio.
He lives on the other side of this cow market, somewhere between the cow market and the sheep market, which is over there. And by the looks of things, he knows everybody in this area.
Azal, Azal. C'est petit lutteur.
Hey, ça va?
C'est petit lutteur.
Le petit lutteur.
Oui.
Hey, bonjour, bonjour. Tu sais,
Ça, il y a des siens. Ça, c'est un couloir, ça.
ah oui? C'est
C'est
qui ça?
un couloir, oui. Ça, c'est un couloir.
With nearly half the population living on less than $2 a day, wrestling can be a golden ticket for young men here.
Le drapeau, le lutteur. J'ai gagné le drapeau long jamais aussi.
La lutte, c'est très important ici,
Oui.
pour cette famille.
La famille, oui. Il y a des soutiens de la famille, tout à ça, moi.
Sadio's dad died when he was 17. Since then, he's been supporting the family.
Mon mère, ça va y aller.
He lives at home with his mum, 4 sisters, and their 5 young children.
Pas de moyen, il n'y a pas de moyen ici. La facture de courant va venir ici, la maison. Mon mère, chez Sadio, viens la facture, la facture. Inch'Allah, viens, il n'y a pas de raison. Viens, fuck. Viens.
Wow.
Puis Sénégal boo kiiwul boo amul liggéey bu baax boo jàpp ni dimbali sa yaay wala say mag wala say famille il faut nga dem bëri ji moo gën a gaaw du nga mën a leen jàppale quoi da ngay xool yoon bu gaaw rek nga def ko.
What would it mean for you and your family if you were to win a big fight?
waaw pour ñoom waaw pour bëggal leen rek ndax ñoo tax ngay sonn koy sonn sa famille moo tax ngay sonn sa yaay wala say mag.
Sadio's mum is one of his biggest fans. At 24, shouldering the burden of the whole family is a lot to take on. Away from his family, he tells me he's got a big decision to make about his future.
Sunu kër yaakaar nañu loolu yëpp day métti quoi yi si dajaloo yëpp moo métti quoi. en kay xanaa jóge woon fii rek bàyyi fi làmb ji dem Europe liggéey def énigré dem liggéey foofu génn dëkk bi dem wuti ñëwaat indi loolu rek mooy sa rêve ñëpp.
Sadio has many friends who've risked their lives travelling to Europe for work. Those who make it send cash home, contributing more than 10% to Senegal's GDP. Many families rely on this money to survive. The next day, I meet Sadio at the mechanics where he works. If there are no customers, he gets no money.
And is there always work here?
Non, ça dépend rek. Des fois moom liggéey des fois doo liggéey. Des fois nga toog ci nga doon dem ñibbi. Doo gagné dara.
Nearly half of young people in Senegal can't find full-time jobs. Sadio doesn't get enough work to feed his family of 10, but having left school at 16, his options are limited. Most people in Senegal are sports mad. Every evening, you see thousands working out on the beaches. It's no accident Senegal produces so many international sporting icons. Many, like Sadio, hope to make it big. After work, he takes me to his own training session. Sadio's decided to have one more go at the tournament next weekend, but his coach, Ade, is having doubts.
Is it difficult for young men who come from this kind of area to reach the kind of level that they need to be able to earn lots of money from wrestling?
Ade matches Sadio with one of the more experienced wrestlers to try and challenge his strength. It's close, but this time Sadio overpowers his opponent.
It all seems incredibly casual. You know, you have people turning up halfway through training, horses rolling around in the sand. But in reality, that's what wrestlers here have to deal with. It's not like football where you get taken off to a special academy and focused entirely on football. These guys have to deal with real life, feeding a family, and trying to find the time for training.
I leave Sadio to see if I can meet one of the most exciting wrestlers in the sport. In 1 week, up-and-coming star Sita and reigning champion Zos are going head-to-head in the biggest fight of the year.
We've just arrived in Jamagan, which is where Sita comes from. He's one of the biggest wrestlers in the country, and I'm told that this is the poorest and potentially most violent suburb in Dakar, and he has a huge following.
Around 10,000 fans have turned up to see Sita. But he's not even fighting today. This is just a press event.
The devotion that this guy has around him is just ridiculous. I can't believe how many people there are.
If the 26-year-old wins this fight, he could take home as much as £30,000. And this neighbourhood will have its very own national superstar. I managed to get a question in.
What advice would you give to a young wrestler who's struggling to balance work and training?
Madam, ban conseil ngay ñu. Mooy tam lamb sans la quoi. Yàlla nattu la ci nga war ko def. Mo ñëw. Mo jàng ñëw pendant 10 ans jàng naa ko. Mooy xëy na dama def lu dul ko saa bi. War nga bàyyi.
The sun's going down a bit, and the press are getting their last few questions in, and you can feel the tension because all the fans want to get a piece of their hero before he leaves.
Outside, I meet Senegal's most famous commentator, Malik Chandoun.
How long do you think it's going to be before you start to see Senegalese wrestling abroad?
On a déjà commencé à exporter la lutte à Paris. En Suisse également, on a commencé à exporter la lutte. En Italie, personnellement, je suis allé là-bas pour des programmes de lutte. Et puis, il y a des Européens qui ont commencé à venir pratiquer la lutte.
As the number of fans watching in the stadiums and on telly grows, the money in this sport is growing too. Hassan Diaye is the promoter behind Sitter's big fight. He's managed to get American fruit company Del Monte to sponsor the event. I asked marketing manager Adama Lo why Del Monte would choose wrestling over football.
L'amour est sport national. Donc ça nous fait plaisir d'y accompagner ñu melni ñom Assam parce que ben instant dafa melni ñu ngi participer en même temps ci lo xamantene mi ngi avancer suñu réew. Da bo sétlo xalé yu bari yo xamantene ñu ngi doon aw benen yoon légui ñu ngi aw ci yoonu lamb ji.
For Senegalese wrestling, this is a massive deal. Del Monte is an international company, and to have them on board sponsoring big events is vital if the sport's going to keep moving forward.
And for Del Monte, a chance to appear truly African.
While the big-name wrestlers like Zos and Sita have whole teams around them to try and organise things and keep them motivated, Sadio has to work on it all himself.
It's Sadio's final training session ahead of his tournament tomorrow. His friends and kids from his local neighbourhood have come to watch, and Sadio is putting on a show. If he crashes out again, he'll start thinking about leaving the country to make money in Europe, but he's hoping it won't come to that. Later that evening, I joined Sadio for the last big meal before his tournament. It's a bowl of maize porridge, shared between 4.
How often do you have this? Do you think you get as much nutrition as you need to be a wrestler?
Sadio's best friend Diaga is going to make sure the spirits are in his favour.
moom moo ñu toogal ci mikaay lu bëri konoom ñëwul woon nag. mais moom bu toogee ci mikaay rek moom affaire day yomb ndax séeréer la. a beaucoup de programme lamb quoi. Diaga.
Sadio reckons success is 70% down to training and 30% to magic.
waaw loolu daal cosaan la daal fii Afrique Sénégal fii. dëgg boo dem daa am aadam.
loolu am na fi. galaaj pour aar sa bopp. loolu moom ñëpp a ko xam.
waaw mën nañ si jaay meew nag.
kaw.
On the day of his fight, Sadio's up early. He straps sacred leaves into his loincloth. Around his neck, he wears amulets containing a Quranic verse. We head to the stadium.
Ça a changé un peu, hein?
Oui. Il n'y a pas de SRS quoi. Oui.
He says a prayer. It's one of many pre-fight rituals.
waaw xam nga làmb boo si duggee affaire jinne la boo si duggee da ngay am xabtal boo xam ne ni affaire seytaan la daal da ngay am ay jat yoo xam ne moom ngay jat ci làmb ji jat yooyu moo tax ngay nekk ci làmb ji carrément.
Gradually, the stadium fills up with wrestlers all vying for the favour of the spirits.
li fi ma jamaa lay bàyyoon ba léegi moo fi nekk dañu fi jiitu bi incha allah bi ñu fi yàlla jógee léegi tamit loolu la suñu sët yi ñëw wala doom yi ñëw ci loolu la ñuy fekkaat saa dina ko doon jeex.
No matter how many times I ask Sadio, he keeps telling me he's not nervous. But to be honest, as all the guys are here doing their preparations, and I'm definitely starting to feel nervous for him.
Finally, Sadio's fight is called. It's all over in seconds. He's lost in the very first round. He's not keen to talk. It's the morning of Sita's big fight against Zos.
A lot of Sita fans. A lot of Sita fans over here.
Everyone's talking about it.
Même sponsor yi moo leen di maa bëgg booy wàcc. dafa teel topp. avantage yu lamb mooy Siteu daan suba mooy yokk lamb moo koy jëmale kanam.
At the stadium, fans have arrived hours early.
Security guards have brought out the truncheons and the tasers. It's pretty brutal. Whoa! I just had my first real taste of Senegalese crowd control. Sita's just turned up, and his preparations are so elaborate that he's not even allowed to touch the grass. They've got a special white carpet sprinkled with sand that they've brought from their area.
Senegal's glitterati are out in force. Singers, TV stars and politicians are all here to support and be seen.
Sita's got this crowd in the palm of his hand. If I was Zos, I'd be a little bit worried.
The preliminary fights get underway. At this level, Senegalese wrestling allows bare-knuckle punching to the face and body.
Finally ready, building up now for the big event, Zos versus Sita. This is what the whole country's been waiting for.
Sita claims he's spent £10,000 on rituals just for this fight. One punch by Sita, and it's all over.
Not what anybody was expecting, straight knockout.
Sita is the sport's newest superstar. I head to see Sadio one last time. He's made a decision.
waaw instant bi maa ngi 24 ans mën naa buddoon ba si kanam mais lu gën a gaaw mooy ñu xool leneen lu gën làmb ndax parce que làmb benn métti na ankay xanaa jóge woon fii rek bàyyi fi làmb ji dem Europe liggéey def énigri dem liggéey foofu. waaw mais foofu bu ma fa nekkee dund fa ko lu ma dund fii nii ñoom dañ may xam.
It might be the end of Sadio's dream, but wrestling in Senegal is on the up. Academies are popping up all over the country, and a new £40 million stadium is being built. Senegalese wrestlers are also making appearances in America and Europe. This African sport is set to go global.
Tonight on Unreported World, Kenyan athletes came top of the medal table at the recent Athletics World Championships, and everyone expects they'll be a big force at the Rio Olympics. But many Kenyan runners have tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. Over 40 have been banned in the last 4 years. Adding to the doping crisis, the top officials who run Kenyan athletics have been suspended by the IAAF, the world governing body, while it investigates allegations they've subverted anti-doping control measures and misused sponsorship money. Ade Adepitan is in the town of Eldoret to investigate what this means for Kenya's athletes.
It's 6 a.m. and these guys have been training since before sunrise. Running to Kenyans is like football to the Brazilians. They absolutely love it over here. And I've always seen this as the home to some of the greatest runners the world has ever seen. These athletes are super fit. They've already run 15 kilometres and conditions are tough because we're more than 2,000 metres above sea level. They make it seem so easy, it's like so effortless, but they're moving at a fair lick. More long-distance champions have come from here than anywhere in the world. Julius Taros wants to be one of them. He's training to make it into the national team. How far do you run in a week?
In a week, total 200.
200 kilometers?
Yeah, a week average. Yeah.
That's crazy. Julius is 25. Long-distance runners often peak in their 30s. His coach told me he could be one of the best in the world. Why do you guys run? What is it that you love about it so much?
I run for money.
We are trying to earn a living.
Yeah, earn a living. Because we realize that when you run, being the best, you get money.
In Kenya, winning is a way out of poverty, and this place is teeming with champions. They're everywhere. By the roadside, I spot the 800 metres Olympic champion, David Rudisha. So what are you training for now? Are you getting ready for?
Preparing for you.
I can't believe it. David Rudisha. I can't believe it. It's incredible. I mean, he's one of the greatest runners in the world, one of my heroes. I'm chuffed. I'm buzzing. Next morning, I'm back with Julius at his training camp. Its owner lets the athletes stay for free. If they become successful, he hopes they'll give something back. So is this where you stay?
Yeah.
This is your house?
This is the kitchen.
All the athletes are poor, but Julius is one of the poorest. To become a runner, what's the difficult things that you have to deal with?
So food is the main challenge.
Julius can only afford to eat once a day. That's nowhere near the amount of calories an athlete needs.
You know, sometimes it seems that this is the last time for me for training, because if I have no food, how will I get the energy for training if there is no food?
Since 2012, there have been explosive reports of Kenyan athletes doping. Over 40 have been caught, most in international races. Dopers are a big concern for Julius. Do you worry that it will be difficult for you to compete against them, to beat them, because they're taking drugs?
Yeah, for me, I will worry.
Have you ever been tempted?
For me, no. Because the effects are long-term. It can affect me a lot, and I can suffer. I will stay a firm and strong family and say, no, 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 no to doping.
Athletics Kenya, the sport's governing body, is meant to implement a doping control program. But the World Anti-Doping Agency has put Kenya on probation, saying they're non-compliant with global anti-doping rules. There isn't enough testing after races and almost no random testing of athletes when they're training.
In Kenya,
I tracked down a marathon champion who competes internationally. He's agreed to speak with me if his face is hidden. Do you take performance-enhancing drugs?
Yes, of course.
What drugs do you take?
EPO.
EPO?
Yes.
And when did you start taking EPO?
I started 5 years ago.
EPO builds up red blood cell production, so an athlete absorbs more oxygen and runs faster for longer. EPO is a banned drug. Why do you take it?
Running is a business. I'm running to support my family, and most people take.
When you say most people take EPO, what do you mean? Where do you mean? Do you mean in Kenya, most people take EPO?
Yes.
Most runners?
Most runners.
Most professional runners, you would say?
Most professional runners, yes, I mean.
He wants to show me how easy it is to get EPO.
daktari. Amwali kala reactores kole oya sasa wale niribo kidogo. Akapewa. Akita namba onyes nilicho tos ngor namuch bokora na kararan.
His usual doctor is out of town, but he quickly gets the name of another doctor who can help.
Sawa.
Now, we've only been here a short space of time, and it shows me how easy it is to get hold of these things. And it also says there's a network of people out there ready to provide drugs to the athletes.
Away for now.
He says he'll fix an appointment with one of the doctors in a few days. Julius is about to compete in one of the biggest national athletics meets in Kenya. I'd expect him to rest, but he can't afford to. He has to work.
And how many hours every day?
4 hours.
You spend 4 hours?
Yeah, 4 to 5.
For me, one of the most important things as an athlete is rest. When do you get your time to rest if you're training and then you come here and you work?
So, for me, I just plan my time.
So how much money would you get for working here?
Yeah, per day is 150 shillings, Kenyan shillings. Yeah.
150 shillings is £1 for a day's work.
Julius's life just seems so relentless to me. You know, he's up in the morning training, and then in the afternoon, if he's not too tired, he's here slogging it out for 4 hours, and then he's got an evening session. And it just makes me realise and understand why he's so hungry to be successful.
It's the day of Julius's race. Some of the top athletes in the country are here. It's the best chance Julius has had to get noticed. The event's happening at the Afraha Stadium in the city of Nakuru.
For me, this is the biggest day because I'm meeting with the top athletes, the champions athletes, and also this is the meet of the Kenyan athletics. Only is to make sure I improve on time so that I may be selected or being seen.
This is big.
Wishing me all the best.
Julius is running in the heats of the 5,000 metres. If he manages to qualify for the final, he'll be in contention for the national team.
I'm feeling for you, man. You can do this, you can.
Yeah, I can do.
Okay.
I can do that.
Athletics Kenya, the sport's governing body, has multi-million-dollar sponsorship because of the success of its runners. But looking around, you wouldn't know it. The track is just dirt, substandard for international athletes. There aren't even proper changing rooms.
This is the toilet that the athletes have to use at the stadium here in Nakuru. Now, the stench is overwhelming. Flies everywhere. Yeah, it's just filthy. Absolutely disgusting. And I think with all the millions and millions of pounds that they've brought in over the years, that they could provide better facilities than this.
The president of Athletics Kenya has been suspended by the world governing body, the IAAF, over allegations he's improperly diverted sponsorship money. He denies the accusations.
The organisation at this track meet has been chaotic, to say the least. Julius has been given so many different start times, and now it's just gone past 12, and he's been told to get ready because his race is about to start. I don't know how he's supposed to prepare for the biggest moment of his life with so much disorganisation. It's just crazy.
He's just eaten a meal, so he has to run on a full stomach.
Good luck.
He hasn't even had a chance to warm up.
Race is actually going to start. I've got my stopwatch ready. I think we're going to have to get off the track because there's so many of them. Julius is looking comfortable. Good boy, Julius. Stay relaxed. Stay relaxed. What I am a bit worried about is he's dropping back now. He's dropping back into the pack. Come on, Julius, keep fighting, keep fighting. It's final lap.
But he catches up. He's with the leaders and they're way ahead of the rest of the field.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good job.
He finishes 7th. For Julius, it's a great result.
How was that?
14:34.
Well done.
Despite all the distractions, that's 6 seconds faster than he's ever run before. He's going to be in the final.
Even when you're not prepared, when you're not ready, you're still able to compete. That's a sign of a champion. That's a sign of someone who's ready to go to the top, you know?
If I will be given a chance for finals, I won't let you down.
It's not about us, it's about you.
Yeah.
It's for you.
Yeah.
You're doing this for you.
I hear there are other allegations against officials at Athletics Kenya. To find out more, I visit Ronald Kipchumba, an elite long-distance runner.
Germany, 2007. So every year you were winning medals, winning races.
Yeah.
Oh.
In 2012, Ronald was caught using EPO at a marathon in Austria. His ban ended in 2014, but officials at Athletics Kenya haven't sent the paperwork to let him compete again. Instead, they keep phoning him.
And what were they calling you for?
Waliniambia suleta kitu kidogo ndio sasa kuja uchukue mambo ya client yako sasa.
So when you say something small, what do you mean by that?
Something. Sasa tunafikiri ni pesa peke yake, sasa hakuna kitu kingine. Alafu ni pesa tu. Obvious.
So AK have been asking you for money before they'll give you the letter for clearance.
Yeah. What's in your sasa? You.
As well as the president, the chief executive of Athletics Kenya is also currently suspended by the IAAF after allegations that he asked athletes for bribes to reduce doping bans. He denies the allegations.
If everything that Ronald is saying is true, then AK are basically holding him hostage. They should be supporting him. You know, he's done his time. This is bizarre, it's bonkers.
I meet up with the marathon runner who uses EPO. He's brought a friend.
Okay, guys, good luck. And most importantly, stay safe. And remember, you're asking about it, but don't do it.
Okay. I'm safe. We meet.
Take care, guys.
They go to meet the doctor the marathon runner normally uses to get EPO. The friend is a clean athlete who will pretend he wants to start doping. He explains he has a big race coming. The doctor tells him he wants blood tests to check his health. They agreed to meet in a few days. Performance-enhancing drugs work, but they're dangerous. EPO can cause heart attacks, strokes, and liver damage. And a lot of Kenyan athletes don't know the risks.
In here? We're in here?
Yeah.
Titus Kipchumba Kosgei raced in many European marathons. He died suddenly last year. He was only 35. He used EPO, and his family believed it killed him. His wife Penina tends his grave in the front yard.
Nasikia mbaya kwa sababu waliniwacha. Hata sina chochote. Hakuna kitu ile na someshia watoto.
His uncle William, also a marathon runner, introduced Titus to EPO.
And how do you feel now? after what's happened to Titus?
Nasikia mbaya sasa hata kuna kitu naweza sema. Nasikia vibaya sana. Na ningeomba watu wengine wangejua hivi vitu ni mbaya wangetumia wasitumie kweli. Ni mbaya sana. Ini kia affectan sai dugile batema ako nyata kwa ore kuna akili turageme muchko.
William says EPO helped Titus run faster, but he started suffering from headaches, swelling and high blood pressure. William also used to take EPO and still suffers from side effects.
Kimbia nasikia kifua kama inataka kutoka. Nimeacha mbio, sina pesa, sina chochote. Maisha inakuwa ngumu.
William says that neither he or Titus knew about the health risks. As an athlete in the UK, I was constantly given information about banned drugs and their dangers. It's exactly what Athletics Kenya should be doing, but very little of it happens.
You know, it'd be really easy for me to sit here and judge William after that, because some of the life choices he's made have been crazy. You know, and because of them, his career is over, and they're probably the reason why his nephew is dead. But the reality is, for a lot of Kenyan athletes, they are desperate to change their life situation, and the stakes are so high. All they need to do is win one race, and they could change the lives of their family or even their whole village. And I don't know how an athlete is supposed to cope with that much pressure, especially when they're getting very little, if any, help from their governing body.
The undercover athlete returns to the doctor with his blood results. He pretends he now has a race the very next day. The doctor offers him 2 treatments. First, he shows him EpoFit, a brand of EPO. He boasts he's just given some to a member of the national team. The athlete says he's worried the EPO will be detected if he's tested. Doctors try to time EPO doping so the drug builds up athletes in training but is out of their system before they race. Out of competition testing would detect that, but it rarely happens here. To avoid taking EPO, the runner says he can't stay for 40 minutes and will have to come back later. But in the meantime, the doctor offers a different, much quicker injection.
Inasaidia? Okay.
The athlete pays 3,500 shillings, around £24. I told him not to have any injections, but he feels pressured. He lets the doctor give him glucose. This is doping. Unless there's a medical exemption, glucose injections are banned in athletics. The doctor tells him to make sure he returns for the EPO. This doctor is not a lone operator. He's part of a network of medics who exploit Kenya's weak anti-doping controls. The World Anti-Doping Agency has demanded that Kenya set up an independent agency to police doping to work with Athletics Kenya. Worried that Kenya might be banned from the Olympics, the government has passed a bill creating that agency. But there are skeptics.
I'm going to meet Wesley Korea. He's a current runner, he's a politician, and he's the founding member of PAC, the Professional Athletes Association of Kenya. Now, hopefully, he'll have some more answers for me.
Wesley's won the Boston Marathon and the LA Marathon twice. He says a Kenyan doping agency won't work.
It has to be people from outside. Because let me tell you, we live in a corrupt country, very corrupt country.
How does that make you feel? Doesn't that sadden you to be able to just sit there and with ease say, my country is corrupt.
It is saddening. It is very saddening. It is very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, but it's something that we have to understand. It is the truth. It's better for us to face the truth than to pretend and avoid future problems. We live in a very, very corrupt country. That even to me, if you hire a Kenyan to go do out of competition testing by himself, my friend, I won't trust that urine he's bringing if it's real urine.
Today is huge for Julius.
Are you feeling nervous at all?
Yes, yeah.
That's natural.
Yeah.
It's natural.
Yeah, it's natural.
It's the day of the final. If he runs fast enough, he might be selected for the national team.
Julius has just had to rush into the athletic stadium and we can't follow him in with the cameras because we're not allowed to film. But he seems really calm and I hope he does well.
A few hours later, Julius returns.
Julius. What happened?
It's bad news. I can't believe it, but the organisers have cancelled the 5,000-metre final. Now Julius has lost his best chance of being selected for the national team.
I feel sad, I feel embarrassed, and also being shocked. I wanted to prove my talent. It has made me so frustrated.
To be that close to reaching his goal and having it taken away from him. Sport can be really cruel at times, but this is one of the cruelest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I will not give up because I know that if I give up, I will lose everything. I will lose everything. So that's my slogan, that I will never give up.
We've contacted Athletics Kenya, asking for an interview or statement about what we found while making this film. They did not respond. Julius and the other athletes sacrifice everything. But from what I've seen, Athletics Kenya don't step up to match that dedication. That's harming the reputation and the future of the Kenyan runners who've always been my heroes.